Hi there, and welcome to the Cult of Cinema. My name is Aaron, and we got a lot to talk about again today. Yesterday was a bit of a bombshell when it came to announcements. So here I was getting ready to make my video for the indicator sale, for the indicator announcement, for the one-to-one film sale, and just as I'm doing this, just as I'm putting up my thumbnail, I got it done. I'm feeling really happy with myself. So what do you do after that? Well, you tweet out that your video is going to go live. You let people know. I go to Twitter, and what do I see? I see this. So we got to talk. Because as was mentioned yesterday, Vinegar Syndrome dropped the bomb of bombs, and it had me and my better half talking about, well, what about the Severin sale? Like, how is this going to affect the sale? Because you know it's got to affect it when an even bigger sale kind of comes out. So this is the last horror film with Joe Spinell and Carolyn Monroe. If you've never seen it, it's actually a pretty cool movie. You can see that it's going to use the Severin unique slipcover. So let's put it on the screen. Hey Gino, welcome, man. Did you notice this? So what we know right now is it's the worldwide premiere. Hey there, Robert, of the fully restored version with 5+ hours of new special features, plus a 100-page book featuring an extended Starfix interview with director David Winters and a memoir from producer Judd Hamilton. And there's a web store exclusive limited edition that'll have this extremely unofficial slipcase. Didn't you mention this in a previous video, Indy? I'm pretty sure you did. It won't be up for pre-order yet because this is one of the summer sale titles. So this will come up on the 30th. So, and I am going to be honest, there was a lot of exciting announcements from Severin before, but after Vinegar Syndrome's announcement yesterday, Severin needed this title. Severin needed this title for their sale. Hey there, George. This is actually a really good movie. It's not Maniac. So it's not Maniac 2. Actually, Maniac 2 was something that was in the works, never got made, but a kind of a shortened version of what was made, I guess maybe it's a proof of concept or a shorter film anyway, will probably be on this disc. And it's called Uncle Robbie. So I'm going to guess that's going to be on here. And the reason I can make those kind of that assumption caring for grad and then had, yeah, it's got to be big time for you right now. You got to watch my video from yesterday, Andy. Like, the game changed with a 7-day sale from July 1st to July 7th. And Vinegar Syndrome splitting their Blu-ray, their regular editions and their hardcore and sexploitation editions in August to a brand new site. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So the reason I can talk about this one a bit more is, well, I have this. Hold on. Had a horror convention in Montreal. I picked up a bunch of stuff from Trauma. They did a series of things called the Traumasterpiece Collection, where actually they considered some of their actually really good films, not kind of just cheesy, but good films that they either worked on or they just bought the distribution rights for. On this one here, the features are, so once we know the features, we'll see how they line up, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of new stuff. There was My Best Maniac, An Afternoon with Joe Spinell's best friend, Luke Walter. Audio commentary with Luke Walter. We get an interview with Maniac director William Lustig. Mr. Robbie, a.k.a. Maniac 2. That's what I mentioned earlier. The rarely seen short film by Buddy Giovinazzo, starring Joe Spinell. Original trailers, TV spots. The introduction by Lloyd Kaufman won't be there, and the traumatic extras, of course, won't be there, nor should they be. But this was just a regular DVD edition of it. Like, well, not regular. It was a pretty loaded DVD edition of the last horror film. But will this have a Blu-ray? Normally, a lot of these here will have Blu-ray and 4K editions. Now, whether they split it into a Blu-ray and a 4K, or a 4K with a Blu-ray, that has yet to be seen in it. And for me, but from right here, from what I can tell, I can see that it says 4K UHD. Hey there, Kate. Okay, they're ready. I love Joe Spinell. He's a fantastic character actor and extremely underrated. If you're not a horror movie fan and you haven't watched Maniac and stuff like that, you've still seen him, whether it's Godfather or Rocky, you've seen him in films. I want that slipcover so bad. I love, like, Severin do these like tongue-in-cheek, not misleading, but like kind of funnily misleading slipcovers. Show me on the website right now. See, all these are announcements that are coming out on the 30th. So much like they usually do, they announce things, they amp things up until they get to the really big announcement. So they announced, new, Blu-rays with slipcovers for some Franco films. They announced the Edwidge Fenwick release yesterday with an interview with Edwidge Fenwick. The first one she's done for one of her film releases in about 18 years, as far as anyway, as far as I can figure out. The last one we could find was and I found this thanks to a viewer on here, was a No Shame release for Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward that was done 18 years ago. And by the way, she still looks utterly fantastic. But this is going to be a big announcement for a lot of people, and it's going to be conflicting for a lot of people as well. Because let me just check something here. We have two dueling sales. As I mentioned yesterday, Vinegar Syndrome has the compound sale happening from July 1st to July 7th, with new and different titles on sale every day. Day 5 will be box sets. Day 7 will be 4Ks, both limited and standard editions. A lot of people are going to be going for that. I'm really surprised you haven't gone 4K yet, man. It kind of seems like you would. Eventually, Andy, you'll go 4K because the way boutique clips are going. Hey there, William. Welcome, man. This is a big announcement. I came on here to talk about the Indicator, and we'll definitely get to that. But the last horror film, for those that don't know the film, we'll do a quick dramatic reading for right here. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All that jazz. You want to join my Patreon? That's down there. You want to get a super ghost face shout out? You can super chat, super sticker, or donate, and we'll give you a ghost face shout out Ghostface Cake shout out. If you want to figure out what that means, go ahead and do it. Vinny Durand, a lonesome New York cab driver who lives at home with his mother, has dreams of becoming a famous film director. Consumed by his depraved obsession with beautiful horror actress Jenny Bates, played by Carol Monroe, and determined to have her star in his first film, Vinny trails her to the Cannes Film Festival, which actually was shut at. While Vinny's disturbing fascination grows, a mysterious killer begins slaughtering all the people in Jenny's entourage. Are the crazed fanatic and the psychotic killer one and the same? Will this be Jenna's last horror film? It's a pretty cool film. I'm a big Carol Monroe fan, big Joe Spinell fan. For the longest time, a lot of people thought that they were a couple. They weren't. But because they acted in Maniac and the last horror film together, people often thought of them as such. For those that weren't here yesterday, we will go into the Vinegar Syndrome stuff in a little bit as well. You get in my area, the builder who built my house didn't cut coaxial cables. That happened to me once, man. God, it was years ago. No, I mean, and we have other things to look at today too. But before going any further, knowing what you know, and everything mentioned yesterday, who's picking this up on day one? I can't see people wanting to miss out on the slipcase if they're a big fan of that. Because if this is going to be anything like the other Severin releases during the sales, the net slipcase is going to be only available during this particular sale. So once the sale is over, that slipcase is going to go away and it's probably not going to come back again. Or maybe it'll come back for a sale, but it won't be there on the regular website. You'll be very careful with stuff like that. It's a huge, huge one to look at. Probably day one. Yeah, if you want the slipcase, it's going to have to be day one. Because I've not, like some of their other releases, like the La Casa one that they put out, that one didn't come back with slipcase. And Severin is smart with this because there will be titles that you can probably say, oh, I can wait on this one because there's a big sale coming out. And if anybody's not familiar with the video that I did a video yesterday on the Vinegar Syndrome announcements, which I will go into today. We're the Canadians. Well, this K-Dog is going to be on the Severin website. The sale starts on the 30th, so definitely be here, man. We'll be doing a pre-show for the Severin sale, and on my Patreon, we're going to be doing a lot when it goes live. We're going to shop together on the Severin site, and for every single day of the Vinegar Syndrome subscriber sale, we will be doing a live video to look at all those announcements every day. Of course, on August the 1st, you want to be a patron because on August the 1st, Vinegar Syndrome's brand new website starts up, and we will be on Patreon live to look at that website because you can't look at that on YouTube. Trust me on that one, guys. Unless you want to risk getting your YouTube page taken down forever. Speaking of Severin, ask Severin all about that. So this is going to, oh no, this will only stick around for this one. Now, the last horror film may be around afterwards, but the last horror film with the slipcase, that's for the sale. In 4K in your projector, but don't have any specific hardware for any playback. I'll probably get it down the road in Canada. Want to be with your physical collection for 2 months. The good thing is, like, if you game, when you get back to Canada, PS5s and Xbox Series X's are like all over the place, man. It used to be super hard to get. Now they're everywhere. I'm going to go into the indicator announcement next, and we're going to go into the 101 films because I think this is 101. This is probably 101 films' biggest announcement that they've done in a long time. But does anybody want me to go through the vinegar syndrome announcement again yet that happened yesterday? Because we can do that as well. Because are there people here that don't know what's happening? Because it's big. It's really super big. Let's see if I can get this put up here as well. That's not what I clicked on. All right, let's dive into this. Then we'll go to indicator. Then we'll go into because indicator's got some great stuff there, and I don't want to miss out on that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open up my thing. If you've heard this before, stick by because we're going through all the announcements. But I think it's really important for us to dive into all this today because this is probably the biggest announcement that I've seen from a company in a long, long time. So we all knew indicator. We all knew that vinegar syndrome was going to be taking their sale, taking the subscription, doing it from July 1st to July the 7th. So we expected a sale of some sort. Just that I specifically expected a smaller sale. What happened instead was this: they're doing 7 days, different sale thing for every day. July 1st, you get the regular announcements. 4 regular vinegar syndrome releases, 1 VSA, 17 partner label releases. Now, if you want to buy the subscription to vinegar syndrome, the half-year subscription, you don't have a subscription, buy your half-year subscription first, because then you can go in and buy your partner labels afterwards at 50% off. If you buy your partner labels before, you're gonna have to pay full price for them. Now, on this day, there's going to be a batch of discounted Blu-rays with slipcovers. In other words, limited editions that are going to be added. The more you buy, the more you save. So it's a compound discount sale. Depending on how good the compound discount sale is, it can blow everything out of the water, like in a very good way. For that, the second day, what's the second day? Okay, selection of box sets and hard cases will be on sale. This might be your chance, guys, to get some of those Forgotten Jelly sets you want, some of those Homegrown Horror sets, some of ththose like maybe Flesh for Frankenstein. Again, a compound discount sale. You can buy, the more you buy, the more you save type thing. On the third day, standard edition Blu-rays, not anything like not the limited editions, regular stuff. No, pad out stuff that you don't have. The more you buy, the more you save. Pretty standard so far, except the box one's really good. On the fourth day, we get more limited editions. On the fifth day, this is where it gets really, really interesting. On the fifth day, there's bundle products. So whether that means we're going to get an exploitation bundle, sexploitation bundle, hardcore bundle, a 4K bundle. The more bundles you buy, the more you save. Oh, then you are, man, Indy, there's some good stuff for you, man. On the sixth day, it's going to be limited edition. And on the seventh day, for those that haven't gotten into or are starting to get into 4Ks, selection of 4K UHD releases, both limited edition and standard editions, will be on sale compound discount. That is amazing. Oh, thanks, man. But here's where things get more different and more intense. Beginning in July of this year, all hardcore and some softcore titles will no longer be available for purchase at vinegarsyndrome.com. We'll be launching a special website on August the 1st that will specialize in all things sexploitation. By separating these films, we will not only be able to streamline the checkout process of the Vinegar Syndrome website, we'll be more than doubling the number of sex films released on home video, including adding more diverse film selections into the mix. We are very excited about this development and look forward to sharing more information with you very soon. Very soon is now. We will be allowing cross-site purchasing, so order stacking. So you can go to Vinegar Syndrome, order your stuff from there. Then you can go to their sexploitation website, order stuff from there, have it put together so that you're not paying extra shipping just because they're on different websites. That's a really nice feature. Hardcore and some softcore titles that were released with the Vinegar Syndrome branding, this is important, guys, inclusive of all older Peakorama titles, standalone releases, and some drive-in collection titles, will be phased out. For example, once a sex film with a Vinegar Syndrome catalog number sells out, its Vinegar Syndrome edition will be out of print. Select DVD-only releases will eventually be repressed as Blu-ray discs, select, not all, on the new site. Due to this, all Vinegar Syndrome branded sex titles will be heavily discounted. Maybe not phasing out Peakorama, but phasing out Vinegar Syndrome Peakorama. And I think that's going to be the key thing, Andy. Once the new website is live. Huge discount on them once the website is live. Because I have a feeling that Vinegar Syndrome wants to have Vinegar Syndrome be a site that you can go to at your workplace, that people can go to if they want to buy like Sidekicks or Roadhouse or some of the action films or some of the other titles, and maybe not have your workplace flag it as a suspicious or kind of a raunchier site. You want people to be able to go onto the website, and as they're going forward, be able to buy all the crazy releases and maybe not have the adult releases right next to them. For some people, that is definitely a barrier. So Vinegar Syndrome are, without taking them away, they're removing that barrier. And that could have stopped right there, but there's one more thing. In addition to increasing our hardcore and sexploitation output, several other labels will be joining the new website. So just like they did the partner labels, the regular partner labels for the Vinegar Syndrome website, this will have labels as well, including one of the most prominent and historic American sexploitation hardcore film producers whose vast catalog will be put into release on the website right there on August the 1st when it starts. This is huge. I've been doing this for 11 years. And not since, I don't think, the Vinegar Syndrome announcement of like the really ongoing, like the way of their subscription service, has there been anything this huge from Vinegar Syndrome and from most companies when it comes to like an announcement. Movie announcements, title announcements are always big, sale announcements are always big. But this is legit shift and change in Vinegar Syndrome. We're seeing an evolution in the company. And an evolution that I think is really, really smart. It remains to be seen if those adult titles and sexploitation titles can make it on their own website. Hopefully they can. I really think that the audience is there for it, especially when they're bringing in new and a more eclectic mix and bringing in other partner labels to do that. So we will be August the 1st. We're going to be there, guys. We will be live on Patreon because that's where you want to be for something like this. And we'll be looking at their website for the first time. It's a big chance, George. It's a big chance. And it changes things around too when you're thinking about subscriptions. Because right now, you can get the subscription with the adult titles included. Will that change? Will it mix around to its own thing? Is that going to be not an option, or is there going to be an adult only subscription on this site? Because now we got different stuff. Or is the Vinegar Syndrome thing going to be taken, or is Vinegar Syndrome's adult titles, which are going to be called its own thing, as from what I can tell, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, that these aren't going to be called Vinegar Syndrome or Peakorama anymore. Maybe they're going to be called Peakorama. Maybe it's just going to be Peakorama. Maybe there's going to be a whole new like logo and name altogether. Vinegar Syndrome is going to mean your regular titles. It's going to mean your kicks and your sidekicks and your things like your Cynthia Rothrock's and your action films and your showgirls and stuff like that. And that's the thing. In the beginning, Andy, I had that exact same response and thought, you can't decide if it's good or bad. It's a bit confusing, right? No adult titles from Vinegar Syndrome. But there are. They're just not going to be named under Vinegar Syndrome. They're going to have their own website. Vinegar Syndrome has taken some big chances before. I think their biggest one before this was probably their streaming service, which I like their streaming service, actually. That was pretty good. But it was initially what differentiated Vinegar Syndrome from other companies. It was that fact that they did their adult titles. They had that type of that stuff. But here's the thing. Vinegar Syndrome has come a long way in 10 years. Out of any company that's out there in North America, I don't think there's anybody that has come close to knowing the business and knowing public relations better than Vinegar Syndrome. Like you and me, we have the streaming service, so we know the bumps along the way. But I think whoever they've got working with them right now, I think there's been some issues off and on with some of the acquisitions. Like, there's been some things I may not personally chose myself, but that's me, right? That's more of a personal thing. As far as it comes for like the business side of Vinegar Syndrome, working out like shipping costs, working with different people, bringing in partner labels, like advertising their stuff, making their slipcovers the slipcovers, making their subscription service the subscription service. As Carly Simon says, right? Nobody does it better. And yesterday and this morning, I had a conversation with my better half and saying that this definitely got to put a dent into Severin's sale. But then the last horse film dropped. And I think that the last horror film is with that slipcover, it's a day one buy. So it's like Severin saying, yes, we know the Vinegar Syndrome thing is going to be super cool, but this is your only time to get this. This is your only time to grab this title. In a perfect world, Severin and Vinegar Syndrome would be side by side, hand in hand, even keel, right up there. But the difference between Severin and Vinegar Syndrome is it's obvious. And it's this. It's that Vinegar Syndrome is very, very, very good when it comes to public relations and the business side of things. Severin is extremely good when it comes to the artistic side of things. Severin needs to work on distribution, shipping issues, and work more on public relations. That's where Severin still needs to get there. Because Severin, when you're putting out releases like all the Hansby Hours, which is a Criterion level set, and you're putting out things like the Umberto Lenzi sets and the Black Emanuel set, when you do that, you should be top tier. That should be top tier right there. Uh, will it be an adult one too? It's going to be different. I mean, uh, that's the thing to find out. And when I say this, I'm not dissing on Severin at all. I love Severin. I love their stuff. Obviously, I got a lot of it back there. But I just want to, I want them to hit that next level because they're there. They just the business public relations side of it, and Severin will be there. It's mean that though you won't be getting adult titles in the monthly, but it's still. I'd say we'll find out like whether they're going to keep that or whether maybe they'll split them up. Maybe you'll be able to get the title ones with that. Here's the thing. I got the 6 month subscription, halfway subscription one time because, in all honesty, Indy, I wanted to try it. If I'd had more money at the time, although I said I wasn't going to renew, once the next year started, I regretted not renewing and getting the full year. I regretted it. The titles that have come out, especially like some people like complain about the 4K re-releases. Like seriously, like the titles that I would have had, Death Wish 2 in 4K, Amityville Horror in 4K, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 in 4K, X-Ray Schizo in 4K, and that does include their other amazing releases, their box sets, the other things that's come out. Well, so cross-site, so not so much cross-site packaging as it's going to be. So basically, when they say cross-site packaging, it means like if you go and say you want to order titles on the Vinegar Syndrome website. Right now, if you go in the Vinegar Syndrome, you can order like the titles, and you can order partner labels, and you can order the adult titles. So if the adult titles go over to their own website, initially, what one concern could be is that people could be asking, like, oh, God, okay, so if it's got its own website, that means that's double shipping cost, right? That's going to be one of the biggest concerns right out of the gate. So they're already saying, don't worry about that. No matter which one you order from, if you decide that you want to order from both sites, we can package those together, still use order stacking so that you don't have to pay for extra shipping. So that's would be what they mean by that. So needless to say, it's a big announcement. There's a lot to take in, and we will definitely go through this over the next few days. But I'd be remiss if we didn't get into the one thing that I wanted to talk about here, aside from that, and this is right here. Indicator has announced their Universal Noir Volume 2, but it's not the only thing that they've announced. We're going to go through the things that are really low stock so that you're going to have the chance to get them one last time. The one thing I want to take note of right here is you can see Fred McMurray on this cover, and I think that's Ava Gardner too. This is Universal Noir Volume 2. Volume 1, my good friend George actually got for me. And because I was really excited because I was worried I was going to miss out on it. And we got 6 films in here: Lady on a Train, Time Out of Mind, Singapore, A Woman's Vengeance, An Act of Murder, and The Lady Gambles. Before I go any further, look at Ava Gardner. Tell me she does not look like Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. Like, look. Anybody else see it? Does anybody else see the Sherilyn Fenn Twin Peaks like association there? I don't care for the location thing. Hey, Gina, look right there. Okay, look. That's Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. That's Ava Gardner. Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. There we go. I think it's Gardner. We'll check to make sure I'm right. I think it's Ava Gardner. So here is once you take the slip off, this is what it's going to look like. Lady on a Train with Deanna Durbin. Around Ralph Bellamy and David Bruce here. Dan Duryea is in this one. I'm a huge Dan Duryea fan. We got Time Out of Mind with Robert Hutton, Ela Raines, and Phyllis Culver. And Eddie Albert, too. We got Singapore here with Fred McMurray. It was Ava Gardner. So, yeah, Ava Gardner. See, I know my older stars. We got A Woman's Vengeance with Charles Boyer and Anne Blythe and Jessica Tandy. We have An Act of Murder with Frederick March, Edmund O'Brien, Florence Eldridge, and Geraldine Brooks. Last but definitely not least, we have The Lady Gambles with Barbara Stanwyck, who I'm a very big fan of. Oh, I knew for sure. You probably got this order already. Robert Preston and Stephen McNally. What we know so far is that there'll be a 120-page book coming with that, limited to 6,000. And of course, they'll be individually numbered. High-def presentations of Lady on a Train, Time Out of Mind, Singapore, A Woman's Vengeance, An Act of Murder, and The Lady Gambles. Original mono audio. Audio commentary with critics and writers Glenn Kenny and Farron Smith-Neame on Lady on a Train. Audio commentary with film historian Adrian Martin on Time Out of Mind. These are, as you can see, these are all brand new commentaries. Audio commentary with screenwriter and author Kelly Goodner and filmmaker and film historian Jim Hemphill on Singapore. Audio commentary with writer and film historian Pamela Hutchinson on The Lady Gambles. And Jose Arroyo, I'm going to mess up the name, on Time Out of Mind. Neil Sinyard on Woman's Vengeance. Christina Newland on Ava Gardner. Wings Up, a WW2 propaganda film featuring the Lady Gamble star Robert Preston alongside Clark Gable, Gilbert Rowland, and William Holden. A Reverend Unlimited, a dramatized short film about the training of cadet nurses, Reward Unlimited, during World War II, directed by Jacques Tourneau, featuring Singapore actor Spring Bington. The Library of Congress, a documentary short made as part of the American Scene film series, narrated by Lady on a Train star Ralph Bellamy. French Town, a documentary short offering a portrait of a French town following liberation, narrated by Woman's Vengeance actor Cedric Hardwicke. Another blind buy. I haven't seen any of these. That's kind of cool, then. Welcome Home, a documentary short about returning soldiers following the end of World War II, narrated by active murder star Frederick March. With This Ring, dramatized promotional film from the Miller Brewing Company, directed by John Brahm. Molly Mystery Theater, The Gioconda Smile, in 1945, a radio play based on Aldous Huxley's short story, later adapted as A Woman's Vengeance. A Lux Radio Theater episode for Singapore, with Fred McMurray and Ava Gardner reprising their roles. Theatrical trailers, image galleries, new and improved English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. The 120-page book with new essays by Ellen Wright, Paul Duan, Philip Kemp, Tura Jude, Imogen, Sarah Smith, and Iris Vasey. Extensive archival articles and interviews, new writings on the various short stories and film credits. At this point, all subjects, all things are subject to change. And for those that are kind of wondering what these type of sets are like, well, right here. Right here is Universal Noir Volume 1. It had The Web, Larceny, Kiss the Blood Off My Hands, Abandoned, Deported, and Naked Alibi on here. I've got 1826, 6,000. When you take it off, you get the unaltered artwork right here, which I think is utterly fantastic. You can see the numbers right there. I get a little banged up in there. And you can see features on the back. When you open it up, they come like this. Each one of these will have two different versions of the artwork. One here and one here. With the still from the film on the inside behind the disc. There's the Dendria one, Larceny. As always, there's the absolutely fantastic booklet. Well, book, I'm sorry, when you're like 120 pages, your book. That comes with this here release. So fantastic watching, fantastic reading. You can't go wrong with an indicator release. Well, except maybe if you're George or a host of other people that have watched the Rahman set. And the last review I saw on the Rahman family set said it's going to be around for a long time. I'm the only weirdo that likes it, apparently, George. It's a big announcement, but it's not all. No, I got an email from Powerhouse Films, as many people did this morning. These here deletion titles that you're seeing on here, these 5 titles, you can see St. Valentine's Day Massacre has already sold out. They're going completely and will be gone as of June 30th. They will no longer be available to purchase. So if you want to get the Snake Pit, Little Murders, Dragonwick, or The Third Secret, this is your absolute last week to get these titles before Indicator has them completely out of their system. On the very low stock update, actually, let's go to low stock update first. And then we'll go to very low. And I mean, some are very, very low, if not sold out yet. And we'll check afterwards, actually. But on the low stock update, the ones to keep an eye on, especially if you want to make sure you get these, the Chalk Garden, Eye of the Cat, Moscow on the Hudson, Black Joy, Spring Night, Summer Night, The Big Fix, Orphans, RPM, The Brute, Immaculate Conception, No Orchids for Miss Blandish, 90 in the Shade, Lessons, Buffalo Bill and the Indians or Sitting Bull's History, A Soldier's Story, Secret Friends, Carla's Song, Hammer Volume 5, Death in the Seat, The Valdez Horses, An Unsuitable Job for a Woman, The Virgin Soldiers, Eve, Bartleby, The Fortune, Columbia Noir Volume 4, and Hammer Volume 6, Night of Shadows have all entered the low stock spot. That's when you start to keep an eye on them. In the very low stock one, and Brian from Just to This reported this on Twitter as well, by the way. William Castle at Columbia Volume 2, if it's not sold out now, let's check. It's still there. It could be sold out in the next day or two. It's very, very low. Extremely low. Severed Head, Hoffman, Voices, Geronimo, an American Legend, A Time for Dying, Madigan, Invincible, and Britannia Hospital. Every one of those are going. Box sets specifically, guys, those will soon be gone. And again, for those that are wondering, this is William Castle Volume 2. Got 1,875 of 6,000. The films on here, and there are 4 of them, go towards some of the lighter, more comedic stuff, and one of his best later films. We got Zotz, 13 Frightened Girls, The Old Dark... Hey, Panamana, welcome, man. The Old Dark House, and Straight Jacket. Bridge 9, hot under the collar, slipcover soda, pretty fast. I didn't know they were gone already. See, Straight Jacket, one of my favorites. Super stoked to have this one here. And there's some great features on here as well. We got an auto commentary with Lee Gambon and Emma Weston. Mirror Images, a new appreciation by Jonathan Rigby. We got a Joan Had Me Fired interview with actor Anne Helm. On the Road with Joan Crawford, interview with Richard Kahn, who was the publicist. Battle Axe, the making of Straight Jacket. How to Plan a Murder. A Super 8 version of the film. Every single disc in this here release has its very own 40-page booklet. And they all have alternate artwork as well. If you bought Volume 1 and you thought, okay, well, I'm not going to buy Volume 2 because, you know, it's Volume 2 is the more kind of like, is the lighter set, more comedic. You're a better person than me because if I buy Volume 1 or something, I need Volume 2. But for Straight Jacket alone, I would have bought this. Straight Jacket and Old Dark House. I enjoy 13 Frightened Girls, actually. The Vinegar Syndrome has got you looking, huh? But that's not all the news. Because 101 Films has gone in Criterion levels with Following. Following is a 1998 film. It is Christopher Nolan's very first movie. Coming on Blu-ray for the very first time in the UK. It's a very micro-budgeted film. This is going on their Black Label. And to kind of put this into context, Following is the type of movie that I would have figured Eureka or maybe Arrow at one point would have gotten. I did not think 101 Films would get this, but it's a big get for them. So let's do a quick dramatic reading. Then we're going to dive back into the Severin announcement and the Vinegar Syndrome stuff as well. That's why I have to keep coming to the videos, Andy, and I'll make sure that you don't miss out on the titles. Curiosity develops into voyeuristic fixation as a young writer, Bill, played by Jeremy Thibault, follows strangers around London to research a novel. After following Cobb, a well-heeled stranger who's actually a thief, Bill's obsession takes a sinister turn. Drawn into Cobb's world of burglary, prying to the personal lives of victims, he becomes obsessed with an attractive young woman played by Lucy Russell, an aspiring actress making her movie debut. In Cobb, Bill has found a strange companion, part mentor, part confessor, part evil twin. Commentary with actor Jeremy Thibault and film critic James Mottram. Unfollow director Christopher Nolan. What Jim's? Christopher Nolan on Following. I'm going to show you when the Black Label releases in a second here, Andy. Dreamcatching, producer Emma Thomas on Following. Wandering, actor Jeremy Thibault on Following. The Blonde, Lucy Russell on Following. Backtracking, editor Gareth Heel on Following. Don't worry, guys. In case you never had a Black Label release from 101 Films, I'll show you what they look like. Setting the Pace with the composer. Pay Attention, Jonathan Nolan on Following. Following in the Footsteps, actor Jeremy Thibault and Lucia Russell revisit exterior locations. Limited edition What's in the Box, lifting the lid on Christopher Nolan's debut, following by James Mottram and Lingering Shadows, a look at Christopher Nolan's early neo-noir, following by Andrew Greaves. Additional features, Doodlebug, a short film of Christopher Nolan, and theatrical trailers. This, my friends, is a black label release from 101 Films. You can see how thick the releases are. A black label release is considered a premium release from 101. And even at a premium release at 16 pounds and 99 pence, you get it at a great price. When you open up a black label release, it passes the knock test. This one is Ghostwatch. It's a favorite of mine. You'll get the Blu-ray release on the inside here, often with, as you can see, different artwork. You'll also get, like in Ghostwatch, for instance, I got a bunch of art cards that came with the release. And you can see they're pretty big art cards too. There's the scary one, if you know the character. Great release, by the way. It also came with a book. And actually, really freaking cool book, too. And because it's Ghostwatch, it came with a complete script, including linear notes and everything on the inside. In Canada, I paid under $20 for this release. One's Black Label collection is one of the most untalked about, overlooked collections that are going right now. And it's truly a damn shame. Because look at this. Look at this release. So imagine you pick up the following. As you can see right here, you got that book. You got that nice hard box. So it's going to be a nice thick one, just like this here, by the way, guys. You got limited edition booklets. I would not be surprised to see them like throwing a post or something like that before it's all out as well, depending on what they have the rights to get or what they can do. So for those that have never picked up a 101 release, not all the ones are hardbox. Well, there's standard editions as well. So for those, we have the limited edition like releases for the 101 film labels. And once the limiteds sell out, then it goes into a standard edition, which is this right here. And that's when you're looking at that. So the Ghostwatch regular edition would have been this. That's why the limited editions are the ones you want to get, and you want to get them quickly. Other limited edition releases that have come out over time have been things like Spookies, Tammy the T-Rex, Silent Night, Deadly Night, hardbox double set. The Last Broadcast, which is still available, and this actually blows my freaking mind. That's actually a really good title. We got the Bob Clark Horror Collection, which I'm pretty sure, George, you got that one, don't you? LeBrain, Rock and Roll High School, John Mnemonic, sold it pretty quickly. Look there. Look at the cover to Last Broadcast right here. Look at that cover. And the amount of features and work that's put into these one-on-one film releases are insane. It's amazing. So which black label titles don't have the hard box on them? That way, because you have a few of them, so you should know. Oh, the ones that I have, like this one, and I think I had one other one, had a hard box. I know that there was a hard box for the Silent Night Deadly Night. Was there a hard box for Bob Clark? You have Skinner. I have the Severin version of Skinner. This is one of my favorite releases that I picked up in a while. This is big. This is one of the reasons we're here right now. And I didn't even know this was here until I started just from 2 minutes before I went live. Or this probably would have been my thumbnail. And I may switch it up too, because I know more people are going to come to. I love my film noir. I'm a huge film noir fan, but I know my viewership, they're going to come here and want to see the last horror film. That's my thumbnail. So I go to you guys. We have the Severin announcement today, the last horror film. We have the 7-day Vinegar Syndrome sale that was mentioned yesterday. There you go. George said Silent Night, Snowtown, Johnny Mnemonic, Ghost Watch, Bob Clark collections are all hardbox. Thanks, George. George knows his stuff. He got a lot of these. Where are you guys headed first? So obviously this one's starting first. But knowing that Vinegar Syndrome is doing a sale, I got a question before I go back to that. Knowing that Vinegar Syndrome is doing their sale, does this change what you buy from Severin? Will this change what you're going to buy from Severin? Because I'm very, very curious to know if this is going to change your thoughts. What you're getting. You guys are super quiet. I'm waiting. Saying he's going to need some of those current international titles before they go to print. You save your pennies for the Vinegar Syndrome sale. I think we're going to get a lot of people doing that. I think that's going to be a big thing. Your Vinegar Syndrome order just shipped. Congratulations, Vince. I know you're concerned about that. But this is big. I mean, this week has been big. It's like things have been ramping up and ramping up and ramping up with the Severin sale. I'm going to assume, and which I shouldn't do, what day is it right now? It's the 22nd. So there's still time for more announcements, right? You're not sure what's been announced on Severin sale? Well, this is why I'm here, Indy. Aside from the last horror film show, we have the announcement yesterday of Private Crimes. It was a miniseries directed by Sergio Martino and starring Edwidge Fenech, who actually was I think her company produced it as well. Think of it as an Italian version of Twin Peaks. It's kind of what it is. It's a 2-disc set, has the first disc interview for Edwidge Fenech in approximately 18 years. What we know for the special features right now is Kat Ellinger's doing the commentary for part 1. Edwidge Fenech gets a big interview. Giallo and Luca interview with director Sergio Martino. And if that's the only special feature on part 2, by the way, that's probably going to be a career retrospective special feature, and that's going to be massive, and it's going to be a huge thing to pick up. There's Edwidge Fenech right now, by the way. The name of the movie is was a miniseries. Actually, it's called Private Crimes. Four-part, 6-hour television miniseries co-produced by Fenech. And, will there be nudity? It's a TV movie series in Italy, so there's a possibility. Also announced, can't keep these up for too long, the Inconfessable Orgies of Emmanuel and the story of new Blu-ray editions with new slipcovers coming from Severin. A new edition of Journey to the Center of the Earth. It's a brand new Severin's Kids title. The first announcement was Bad Biology with Frank Henenlotter. It's not going to be packaged the way the normal stuff is packaged. It's going to be packaged in a hardbound, I think it's a hardbound book, in a book anyway, in a 90-page book with a 96-page book, of images from Bad Biology, with the Bad Biology disc being in there. As well as a notification that, Exploitation Liquidation, so Turkish Shoot and Survivor going out of print, both are on for $8. I think the DVDs are on for $4 or $5. That the Sum of All Fears bundle, the Mel Meets Million bundle, and the Good News, Bad News bundles are only able to be bought until the 26th. On the 26th, the website will go down. And when it comes back up again, it'll be for the sale. Only the sale bundles will be there. But unlike other times, once the sale is over and the website comes back up post-sale, these bundles will not come back up. So before the 26th is going to be your last time ever to get these 3 as bundles. You still should be able to get most of the stuff, as single editions. You just won't be able to buy the bundle versions of them. And if you want to save a bit of money and buy the bundles, then those bundles are going to be there right now. It is the 22nd. Will there be anything else announced for the Severin sale? Could be just me, but this would be a key piece right here. Last horror film on 4K with that amazing slip that's only going to be available during the sale. That's going to be a key piece. By the way, the other thing that I did not get to mention on here that I wanted to is that Vinegar Syndrome Bond are putting out their very first release. And it's this. I'm going to read it. They're putting out the Zombie Iban comic pack with what looks to be a huge slipcase, 8 comics, 8 posters, 8 lobby cards, 8 trading cards that will be available exclusively on the Vinegar Syndrome website beginning on July 1st. Vinegar Syndrome's publishing side of things have been extremely low print. So you can bet that this here is more than likely going to be going extremely quickly. And if anybody knows me and knows my Lucio Fulci horror movie comic book obsession, there's nothing else right now that excites me more than this. And I just realized you guys didn't see any of that, did you? Here it is right here. The Lucio Fulci Zombies release. Guys, I've been showing all the stuff, and you guys haven't seen any of that stuff. So when I showed this, you saw it. When I showed Private Crimes, that's why you're asking me. It's right here. You can even see the kind of like the Twin Peaksian look to it. These are the 3 bundles that are going to be on sale for the last time for this week. So the 26th they'll go under. I won't be coming back. The Turkey Shoot and Survivor, $8 right now. They're being liquidated out. The Jess Franco slipcovers with Blu-ray editions of those 2 films are coming. The Journey to the Center of the Earth special edition is coming. And of course, Bad Biology. And there you go. With that, we've covered a lot in an hour and 10 minutes. We've looked at new releases from Indicator. We've looked at their low stock stuff. They're very low stock. This, which is probably going to be at a print in the next day or 2. Hey, Maddie, welcome, man. I did an hour and a half. I did an hour-long one, hour and 40 minutes yesterday. But my take on it overall is I'm excited about it. I know where they're going with this. And I think it's the smart move. How is this going to do for their adult titles? That'll remain to be seen. But Maddie, now is a great time to be a patron because, needless to say, when we dive into that website on August the 1st, when we start looking at those there, and we'll be diving into this stuff pre August the 1st because of the massive sale that's going to happen, because they're going to be changing the Vinegar Syndrome's titles. The adult titles are going to go. Some of them are going to go, just going to be gone. Some of them will come back. The DVD editions will come back. Some of them are going to come back under a different label. So there's a lot to go into. And don't worry, we'll get into it even more, because as this sale goes on, we got so much to look at. My name is Aaron. Thank you once again for joining me here in the Call to Cinema. And thank you, guys. I would not be able to do this without you. So like, share, subscribe, do all that jazzy stuff that you want to do. But above all, I hope you had a good time chatting about some amazing releases, some big changes, and so much more. This truly is an evolution in collecting. See you soon.